Hey, I'm Gavin. Uh, Jacob Faccirecci created a video called Jesus is Not King. It caught my attention because, I've been practicing making Jesus my king, which is different from, like, me wanting to love everyone and be loved by everyone. Like, me wanting to love everyone and be loved by everyone is essentially me wanting all the glory. And so the move of practicing making Jesus king, who goes after the most wicked people and lifts them up the highest, is a big change for me, and it's been good. And what I noticed is Jacob, he pointed out that every Jew who decides that Jesus is the Messiah quits being Jew. And what's tied up in that is a kind of purity, and a Jewish identity purity. And what's really interesting is at the end of his video, he points at a Babylon Bee, an old Babylon Bee poke at the people who want white purity. And so it was like a poke at a inbred white person with Nazi flags behind them. And I thought it was just that contrast, that comparison between the kind of a Jewish purity and a white supremacist type purity. Like, there's something similar about them in that, like, all people can end up having a loyalty to the thing which transformed their life. People end up with loyalties toward people and practices because those people and practices have made them who they are. And there's a love for who they are and those people, those relationships to those people and those practices which have made them who they are. And so then we become loyal, and we don't want to divorce ourselves and cut ourselves off and to destroy those relationships with those people and those practices. Whether you're the white supremacist racist who likes to stand next to swastika flags, or whether you're a Jew who loves the tradition and the culture, the people and the practices, or whether you're a Muslim, or whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or an American or a Russian or a Japanese. Yeah, it's just all of these things. You end up with a cultural identity, and it's back to my last video of people, the culture causes people to use glyphosate to kill what they call a weed, and it turns out glyphosate's bad for you and the weed is good for you. But it's our loyalties, it's our culture that shaped us, and we were created that way. We were created in such a way where we form real bonds with people. Those relationships are precious. The relationships to people and to the practices are precious, and that's the way we were created. We were also created to identify threats. If there's a snake in the garden, we will be on the lookout for the snake, and we will spot the snake, and we will miss out on the beauty of the flower. I get chill bumps. I mean, this is the way we were created. And so I understand why someone would be scared to practice making Jesus king. That's scary because all of a sudden, all of those relationships, those past relationships with all of those people are threatened. All the relationships with those past practices are threatened. And we were created to pay attention to threats and to value those relationships with people and practices. That's the way we were created. So I completely understand why a Jew would be scared to practice making Jesus their king, because according to Jacob, every Jew who has ever done that ends up within 2 or 3 generations not being Jewish anymore. They end up, their Judaism disappears. And that can be seen as a real tragedy from the eyes and perspective of someone who loves their Judaism. And it's the same thing for everything. The person who loves their football team, loves their country, loves their political party, loves their iPhone, their Apple over Android or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, the point I'm trying to make is I understand the feeling of pride. Like, I understand that people can have pride in all of these things. That team spirit that Paul Vanderklay likes to talk about, it comes from a place of pride. And then it results in fear and threats and all kinds of stuff. So, I understand it.